preferences. Do not pursue the taste of good food. We live in a generation where a man's belly is his God, and the words of his mouth precede his destruction. Do not allow your belly to be your God. Watch the words that you speak, for your words determine your future. Do not fear death, and never stray away from the way. I am not interested with your talk about my ideas. I am more interested in you applying them to your life. If you do not, then you are essentially not in accord with your own mind. You must dispense with the notion that conversation will change your life. It is only strategy, plan, and execution that alters the very fabric of our existence. You must decide in this moment to execute like you never have. Execute in the face of adversity. Execute in the presence of doubt and fear. Execute. Get the job done. After you have spoken, take action. For if you remain still, you open the door to an idle mind. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Take full responsibility of the portrait and the picture of your life, for it is a direct result of the decisions you have made.
The true meaning of the samurai is one who serves.
Do not rush the process. Trust it. Great things take time. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness. That is life.
Let go of attachments and desires, and you will find peace. Buddha.
Resilience is knowing that you are the only one that has the power and the responsibility to pick yourself up. Sometimes a hypocrite is nothing more than a man in the process of changing.
You are the self, the one without a second. Papaji.
How magnanimity is consistent with care. Things themselves are indifferent, but the use of them is not indifferent. How then shall a man preserve firmness and tranquility, and at the same time be careful and neither rash nor negligent, if he imitates those who play at dice? The counters are indifferent. The dice are indifferent. How do I know what the cast will be? But to use carefully and dexterously the cast of the dice, this is my business. Thus in life also the chief business is this: distinguish and separate things and say, externals are not in my power, will is in my power. Where shall I seek the good and the bad? Within, in the things which are my own. But in what does not belong to you, call nothing either good or bad, or profit or damage or anything of the kind. What then? Should we use such things carelessly? In no way, for this, on the other hand, is bad for the faculty of the will, and consequently against nature. But we should act carefully, because the use is not indifferent, and we should also act with firmness and freedom from perturbations, because the material is indifferent. For where the material is not indifferent, there no man can hinder me, nor compel me. Where I can be hindered and compelled, the obtaining of those things is not in my power, nor is it good or bad, but the use is either bad or good, and the use is in my power. But it is difficult to mingle and to bring together these two things, the carefulness of him who is affected by the matter, and the firmness of him who has no regard for it. But it is not impossible, and if it is, happiness is impossible. But we should act as we do in the case of a voyage. What can I do? I can choose the master of the ship, the sailors, the day, the opportunity. Then comes a storm. What more have I to care for? For my part is done. The business belongs to another, the master, but the ship is sinking. What then have I to do? I do the only things that I can, not to be drowned full of fear, nor screaming, nor blaming God, but knowing that what has been produced must also perish. For I am not an immortal being, but a man, a part of the whole, as an hour is a part of the day. I must be present like the hour, and past like the hour. What difference then does it make to me how I pass away, whether by being suffocated or by a fever, for I must pass through some such means. This is just what you will see those doing who play at ball skillfully. No one cares about the ball being good or bad, but about throwing and catching it. In this, therefore, is the skill, this the art, the quickness, the judgment, so that if I spread out my lap, I may not be able to catch it, and another, if I throw, may catch the ball. But if with perturbation and fear we receive or throw the ball, what kind of play is it then? And wherein shall a man be steady? And how shall a man see the order in the game? But one will say, throw, or do not throw, and another will say, you have thrown once. This is quarreling, not play. Socrates then knew how to play at ball. How? By using pleasantry in the court where he was tried. Tell me, he says, Anytus, how do you say that I do not believe in God? The demons, who are they, think you? Are they not sons of gods, or compounded of gods and men? When Anytus admitted this, Socrates said, who then, think you, can believe that there are mules but not asses? And this he said as if he were playing at ball. And what was the ball in that case? Life, chains, banishment, a draught of poison, separation from wife and leaving children orphans. These were the things with which he was playing. But still he did play and threw the ball skillfully. So we should do. We must employ all the care of the players, but show the same indifference about the ball. For we ought by all means to apply our art to some external material, not as valuing the material, but whatever it may be, showing our art in it. Thus, too, the weaver does not make wool, but exercises his art upon such as he receives. Another gives you food and property and is able to take them away, and your poor body also. When then you have received the material, work on it. If then you come out without having suffered anything, all who meet you will congratulate you on your escape. But he who knows how to look at such things, if he shall see that you have behaved properly in the matter, will commend you and be pleased with you. And if he shall find that you owe your escape to any want of proper behavior, he will do the contrary. For where rejoicing is reasonable, there also is congratulation reasonable. How then is it said that some external things are according to nature and others contrary to nature? It is said as it might be said if we were separated from union. For to the foot I shall say that it is according to nature for it to be clean. But if you take it as a foot and as a thing not detached, it will be fitted both to step into the mud and tread on thorns, and sometimes to be cut off for the benefit of the whole body. Otherwise it is no longer a foot. We should think in some way about ourselves also. What are you? A man. If you consider yourself as detached from other men, it is according to nature to live to old age, to be rich, to be healthy. But if you consider yourself as a man and a part of a certain whole, it is for the sake of that whole that at one time you should be sick, at another time take a voyage and run into danger, and at another time be in want.